My cultural plunge was an Indian American wedding. This wedding was special because not only did we do an Indian ceremony, we also did the Christian ceremony. So both sides got to experience what it was like to be a part of the other culture. One very important thing in the Indian culture is henna. We had an entire ceremony the Friday before the wedding where all the girls got henna. And then we danced the night away as it dried and had a really good time being with friends and family before the special day. The bride's henna is special because on her henna it will typically have her husband's initials or name hidden inside, so that in Indian culture, the arranged marriage, they'd be able to find each other on the ceremony day. There's a special song and dance that they do at the henna ceremony that calls out different groups of people, like mom, and then the mom would dance and sing, and dad, and it just goes through that and all the friends and family until everyone is included. The groom's henna was just as special as the bride's because his also had her initials on his hand. It was a cultural tradition for him to receive henna. This was my kurta suit that I wore to the Indian portion of the ceremony. In the Sikh temple that the wedding was hosted at, you had to have your head covered completely the entire time, even babies and small children. This was the bride outside of the temple right before the marriage happened. Notice that she has long bangles on her wrists. In the Indian ceremony, it is customary to fold your knees Indian style because it is a sign of disrespect to show your feet towards the altar. One special thing that came from this culture was that I noticed the groom was the one that wore the veil. Many prayers happened, but there were 5 specific prayers that were tenets of the marriage. And these prayers came with a ceremony where they walked around the altar each time. He led her with a scarf, and as soon as all of those were done, they sat down, kneeled, and prayed at the altar. The Christian wedding was really difficult for Rashi's family because they had never been in an American wedding before, so they didn't know how any of it worked. It was very fun to see how both sides got to experience a different kind of culture that they weren't used to. Rashi's family was home from Bombay, and they were in America from Bombay, and they experienced the wedding just like everyone else. In India, there isn't a first dance between the dad and the bride. They got to share this special moment together during the American part of the wedding. Dance has a way of bringing people together. Both cultures were able to bridge the gaps and holes in communication by dancing together through the event. And while the bride was comfortable in her wedding dress and she loved it, she felt more comfortable and happy in her Indian garb, so she changed one more time to enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Being a part of this was a rich cultural experience.